Hello and welcome back everybody to the part 2 of making a car price predictor and end-to-end machine learning project. In the last video, we made a Python web scraper to scrape the data and collect the data, and we collected how many records we collected? We collected 59,668 records. In today's video, we're going to explore this data a little bit, clean it and choose a machine learning model, train the machine learning model and get some inference. So without wasting any time, let's get started.
Okay, let's start by making a file, and this time we're going to make a Jupyter notebook. I'm going to name it train cleaning. And here we have a Jupyter notebook. So the reason why I'm using a Jupyter notebook, because in data science and cleaning data, exploring data, training models, it's very easy and fast because you don't have to run the whole code each and every time if you have to test one part of the code, one block of the code. So we'll start by importing our basic module, which is pandas as PD. Okay, so once we have pandas, what we're going to do is we're going to define our file path. Right now, for a minute or so, I'm going to explore the data with you guys to show you how you can explore data, get to know about your data. And then we're going to spend some short period of time in cleaning it. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. And then I'll spend most of the time training the model and explaining the parameters and the method. Okay, back to the code. So now we have to define the file path, and our file name is parkwheelscarsfinal.csv. Okay, so now let's read the CSV using pandas. So I'm going to say data is equals to pd.read CSV, and here I'm going to give the file path. Now we have to convert this data into data frame. So df is equals to data. No, it's not like that. I just forgot. It's pd.dataframe. Sorry about that. P-data-frame, and we're going to pass the data. Once we have the data frame, we can check it by df.head. It will print the first 5 rows of our data set. Oh, I forgot to run this, and then this. So here we have the first 5 rows. You can pass how much rows you want to see. Let's say 10. You'll get 10 rows here. Perfect. So now, let's say you have a data set and you have to explore it without manually going to the data set like this and looking at, which I think you should once. A little bit, you should know what's the data about, how it's placed, and just have a look at it. But if you want to know let's say you want to know the shape of the data. From shape, I mean how many columns, how many rows, and I'm going to press tab and let autocomplete give me all these things. So first thing, we have the shape. We have 5,660. First thing, we need to identify our target variable. In this project, since we're building a car price predictor, the target column is obviously price. I mean, without price, there's nothing to predict. It's like trying to learn without the answer. So you just can't. So first thing we're going to do is remove all the records where the price is missing or not available, because those rows are useless for training a model. So I'm going to add a new cell here, and our data frame is going to be dataframe.drop any, which drop all the null values, subset price. And one more thing, if you look at the data set, there are very few electric cars compared to everything else. That imbalance can add noise and make the model less accurate. So for now, we're going to remove electric cars and keep the dataset focused. Later on, you can always build a separate model for just for EVs if you want. So for that, df is equals to df and our fuel type, fuel, sorry about fuel type is not equals to electric. Yeah, perfect. Let me check once more. It should be electric. Electric. Perfect. So let's run this. And yeah, so how do we check how many records are there? I just forgot. Let me check it and I'll come back. Okay, so df dot shape, and if I run this, okay, triple not callable, shape like it. Okay, now you can see our rows has decreased. Before there were 59,000 and now they're 57,000. So we have dropped quite a lot of rows. Not significant enough. 57,703 entries are quite enough for a good model. Okay, so now I'm cleaning up some numeric columns because right now they are not actually numbers. They're just strings with text mixed in it. If I take you to the dataset back and let's see price. You can see here the computer, the machine learning model does not want this PKR here, does not want a comma here, and this column is actually an object, not a floating value or an integer. So we have to change it. So I'm going to start with price here, as I showed you. So let's change the column price or clean the column price. So this is going to be data frame of price dot str dot replace. We're going to replace ptr with an empty string. And one more thing is we're going to make regex false. Then dot str dot replace, and now we're going to replace that comma in it with again an empty string, and regex again false. And then we're going to strip any trailing and leading spaces. So dot str dot replace, no, sorry, dot strip, and at the very end dot as type, I'm going to make it float. And just to be on the safe side, I'm going to force everything into numbers and turn invalid values into nan, which is none values. I'm going to do this by df price equals p dot to numeric is a function, and I'm going to pass the column price. Oh, sorry about that. Column price. And at the end, as we have to convert all the invalid values or the values which cannot be converted into a number to null values or nan values. So errors is equals to queries. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the other mileage and engine capacity with these two columns, and I'm just going to paste the code here. Okay, so I did the same thing with the mileage column and the engine capacity column. From the mileage, I removed the kilometer sign, the comma, convert it into float and force into numeric. Same thing with the engine capacity, remove the CC sign, the comma, convert into float and force into numeric value. So let's run it. Yeah, we got an error. What error we got? Okay, so right now it is saying that there is an electric car entry and 4.45 kilowatt hour cannot be converted so to numeric values because we just removed the CC. Now we have to deal with that. So for that, what we're going to do is uh, we're going to say that df is equals to data frame. I'm going to add a tilde sign and a data frame engine capacity dot as type string str dot str dot contains anything that have something like kilowatt hours. Let me check it how it is written. Okay, we'll just copy this from here so we don't know any typing mistake. Kilowatt hour, case is equals to false on a safe side, and NA is equals to false. Perfect. Now let me run this again, this once more. um, I don't want to hit a breakpoint, and now I'm going to run this. Okay, now it's not showing any errors, and let me get the head of the data frame now. I'll show you what we have done so far. Okay, now you can see the price. It is a floating value. Same for the year, mileage, and engine capacity. I think we haven't done anything with the year. I think it's by default a float. Yes, year was by default already a floating value. You can see here, year was already a floating value. Now our um, price, year, mileage, fuel, not fuel type, engine capacity, they are all cleaned. Now what we have to do is we have to get rid of this link column. We don't need it. And then we will deal with the title. Okay, so let's drop the link column first. So to drop it, it's very simple. df dot drop, not any, just drop. Inside we have to first write the name of the column, then access is equals to 1 because we are going to drop the column. Access 0 is row and access 1 is column, and in place is equals to true. Okay, perfect. We have to run this, and now if I print the head of our data frame, you can see we have no column for link. Now I'm working on title column. This column is actually very important, but is also doing too many things at once. First, you can see here, it has a very specific format. First, you can see it has car name, then the make of the car, then this phrase which is common in all the titles, for sale in. Then you have the city. So we're going to separate it. We're just going to keep the car name in the title, and we are going to create a new column of city from this title. First, I'm going to make sure the title is treated purely as text and clean up any extra spaces. This is just standardizing everything so it behaves properly later on. So to do that, we can write, sorry about that, click here, title is equals to df title. It should be in parentheses like this, dot str dot strip, just to make sure everything perfect. Now we're going to extract the city from the title and create a new column. So df city is equals to, again, parentheses, df title dot str dot extract. We're going to use extract function here, and I'm going to write a regex here. So it's going to be for sale in backslash s, and I'm not sure here is it going to be correct or not. It should work. Let's see. df dot head. Okay, it's working. It was correct. I actually forgot. I was just going on some back of my head memory. It worked well. So now what we're going to do is going to remove this for sale in from the title. So to do that, what we're going to do is bad title dot str dot replace, and I'm going to copy this exact as it is here. I don't think I need brackets. I think this one is correct. And it should be working. So we should replace this with an empty string, and this time it should be true. And at the end, .str dot strip. Perfect. Let's run it once again and look at this. Great. Now we're going to just remove these ears as we already have a column for ear. So this is just redundant. So to do that, we are going to write the same thing again. Or I just wrote a small piece of code to remove the ear from the title. So just run it and check it, and as you can see, we have unexpected values in here. So I know what is the issue here. Okay, now let's run it, and if we check it again, we have the correct values, and we also have a clean title. We can also change the name title to name, but it works. It will work. There's no worries. So at this point, the title is no longer messy. The city is properly separated, and the data is much more structured and machine learning friendly. Okay, so initially this series was going to be a 3 video series, but now I have decided that I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to create a separate video for preparing and training a machine learning model and getting inference. This video is already, I think, so long, or I think this is enough for this video. And in the next video, we're going to prepare and train a machine learning model, so stay tuned for it. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button and don't forget to like the video.